Intersections, where over 40% of all collisions occur. Most of these collisions are preventable through defensive driving. It is key that effective defensive drivers understand the rules and regulations that govern intersections. One of the fundamentals to intersection safety is understanding the rules as they apply to signs and the right-of-way. Rolling stops are not legally acceptable. Failing to properly stop is a chargeable offense and can lead to significant legal consequences. Most importantly, it is dangerous. At stop signs, you must come to a complete and full stop.
Could I get your driver's license, ownership, and insurance, please? Thank you. The reason I stopped you, pulled you over, was for going through that stop sign. You rolled through it. You didn't come to a complete stop. The four wheels didn't come to a complete stop. All right? And that's not proper for the Highway Traffic Act.
Okay.
I'll be right back with an offense notice for you. Thanks.
Sure.
Here's your driver's license, ownership, and insurance. Yes. Here's a copy of your offense notice. It's for stop sign, fail to stop.
Use the stop line if one is present. A good rule of thumb is to go no further than your front bumper not crossing the line when you stop. At crosswalks, stop before the crosswalk lines. Not only will this give you proper space to the street intersection, it will also provide safe room for possible pedestrians who will use the crosswalk. When approaching a yield sign, you must give right-of-way to pedestrians as well as vehicular traffic. If there are no lines to use, then stop at a safe and reasonable distance from the street intersection or at the edge of the roadway. When two vehicles stop at the same time, the vehicle to the left must yield to the vehicle on the right. Even though you may have the right of way at an intersection with stop signs, be prepared to yield or stop. Expect the unexpected. At four-way stops, there are several rules to be mindful of. As well, you need to act in a courteous and common sense way. Usually, the first vehicle that comes to a complete stop at a four-way intersection has the right of way. It is important at four-way stops to try and establish eye contact with the other driver. This will often lead to one driver waving the other ahead through the intersection. The key is a courteous and yielding manner. By consistently using turn signals, you clearly communicate to other drivers your intentions. But, as always, be prepared for the unexpected. At intersections where the police are directing traffic, obey their signals and slow down unless otherwise directed. At yield signs, you must slow down and look. You may even have to stop for oncoming traffic. Only proceed when it is clear and safe to do so. Reduce your speed when approaching yield signs at traffic lights. Ensure you check over your shoulder for oncoming traffic, and when clear, proceed smoothly into the correct lane. At uncontrolled intersections, the law states that if two vehicles approach at the same time, then neither has the right of way. This is where eye-to-eye driver communication and courteousness are important. The law also states that the vehicle on the left shall yield to the vehicle on the right. Failure to yield, which results in collision, will find the vehicle on the left with failing to observe the law. When merging into another lane in preparation for a turn, switch to the proper lane that allows merging. Use your turn signal. Increase vehicle speed to that of the surrounding traffic. Look for an appropriate spot in the traffic flow and merge smoothly and safely. Merging on a highway calls upon a courteous and safe driver to move to the left lane if possible, to provide room for the other driver. Remember to use your turn signal and always check your blind spots before moving into the left lane. At traffic device-controlled intersections, there are several rules to know. At some lights, you are prohibited from making a right turn on a red. Look for signs that may indicate this. At a red flashing light, you must come to a complete stop before proceeding. At flashing amber lights, you must slow down and be prepared to stop, even though you may have the right of way. Always be prepared to yield or even stop, as someone may not be paying attention. And finally, understand that traffic control devices and the regulations can vary from province to province and from one country to another. Make sure you know the rules. When turning at intersections, you need to know which lane you're required to be in for the turn you desire. Always check your mirrors before changing lanes. Signal your intentions to others by using your turn signal. Check your blind spot by looking over your shoulder. And keep your speed within the limits when changing lanes. Right turns have several considerations for defensive drivers to apply. Use your turn signal well in advance of your turn. Slow down smoothly and gradually. Avoid hard braking. Check blind spots before completing the turn. When making a left turn onto a two-way street, the driver should always turn into the lane closest to the center line. Again, use your turn signal to indicate your intent to other drivers. When making a left turn at an intersection where there are multiple turning lanes, always ensure you stay in your designated lane. Making a left turn into a one-way street is easy. The key is to remember to always turn into the closest available legal lane. Left turns from a one-way to another one-way street should be done from the furthermost left side into the closest available lane. In some jurisdictions, it is legal to make a left on a red light. Know your local rules and look for signs that indicate otherwise. When approaching any intersection, it is acutely important for all drivers to use eye lead time to look for possible hazards. A driver should scan the intersection, checking left, ahead, right, and then left again. As always, be prepared to yield or stop if necessary. Defensive driving at any intersection can be summarized by this: know, show, slow, go. Remember, 40% of all collisions happen at intersections. By adhering to the rules as they apply to stop and yield signs, making left and right turns, merging, and understanding who has the right of way, you too can safely use intersections anywhere. Defensive driving practices protect you, your passengers, and the public.